watching Bosun Dan Bushcraft does bike things today. Vitamin coffee. We're going to be taking a look at actually Temu bike luggage, as it's all the rage and all out there, and Temu is all over the place advertising, selling everything you could possibly conceivably ever want to buy. And today what we're going to look at is the luggage for motorcycles, because this is, as many of you who watch this channel will know, this is my Honda Africa Twin CRF 1000. Big bloody thing. Anyway, they've bought this bike for a very specific reason, and I don't believe I've mentioned it on the channel as yet. Noisy vehicles. I don't think I've mentioned it on the channel as yet, but I actually bought this because I'm going to be extending the bike tour on the side of the channel, outside of the UK, and me and some friends are going to be going around Europe at some point next year. Hopefully we'll be all over like the Transalp Trail and places like that, and all the fun sorts of places like that. So I needed a more off-road capable machine, and that is literally the only reason I bought this Africa Twin. Although having rode it for a little while now, I must say I am actually a big fan. It is a fabulous bike, it really is. So today we're going to take a look at some of the Temu specials. So we're going to start off with this lovely big box on the back of it. This, I think I paid about £55 for it. I can't remember and I can't prove it because I can't get back onto the app and tell me the price. I can get on the app, but they don't tell you the price anymore. Once you've bought something, what your purchases are, it seems to vanish, and the price that you paid seems to vanish, which I get. That's because they're constantly running different offers and everything's changing constantly. To any of you out there that have used Temu, it's a bit much. If you haven't, have a go. It's like joining the circus. My word, it's more like a game show than an actual sales website. As you're trying to look at something, things are popping up, and oh, there's 10 pence off this and all that. It's, to be honest, dealing with it as an app, it's a bit much for me. Don't really enjoy it. But there was things I specifically needed, stuff like this. Now, this was, I think, the 60-litre box. It's quite solid, and if you look inside, that's the best part, because inside of this is a brew. Oh, well then. Yes, my usual massive cup has died, unfortunately, so I'm now onto the old Towers Oktoberfest one. But inside of this thing, it's actually nicer than some houses. I've been in tents that are worse than this. It is all this lovely padding, the diamond check pattern, a couple of pockets that everything's going to completely fall out of the moment you close the lid. I don't know why they are there. They need to be much deeper, but they've tried. Obviously everything's going to fall out of that, but it is padded all around to keep all your stuff safe, and it actually comes off the bike fairly easily should you need to take it off. You just undo these two bolts here, and then the whole box just slides forward off its mounting plate under there. And it did come with quite a sizable bottom plate to bolt to whatever your particular bike rack system is, and it's fairly solid. My favourite part about it really is the fact that it came already with these nice rubbery backrests to keep your passenger nice and comfortable. And if you have such a thing, you can stop your kids from flying off the back of it. And it also came with this bit of a cargo net. It's a really good box, to be honest with you. For the price, you really can't complain about that thing for the price of it. The only thing I would say is I wouldn't trust that lock catch to anything massively valuable, but for less than 60 quid, I'm quite happy with that. So the next thing I've purchased was this Curiously Bonnet bra thing. Now, this is a bit of a strange one, but I did buy this for a very, very specific reason, and that is equipment charging. Now, when I'm doing these trips and stuff, I am planning on taking a bit of solar charging ability and all this, that and the other. But at some point I will need to charge things from the bike itself as I am riding, and I saw this and just thought, well, with these pouches it'd be ideal to have your things stuffed in these little pockets and have them plugged into the bike without too much trouble. And there's a elasticy thing that holds whatever you want it to hold, I guess. Here, this came with a bag of attachments, all manner of different things, most of which I can't even figure out what they're for, and I'm probably not going to use, but they are there should you wish to change it for whatever your tactical purposes are. I mean, you know, probably space for a torch in there and whatever you've got going on here. But I literally just bought these. I bought this basically just for charging the equipment, and it did come with a lot of other different things to help you actually manage to attach it to the framework of the bike. So it wasn't just a one system fits all thing. They did give you a few other options so that you can attach it pretty much to where you need to attach it, and it does just about fit okay without it upsetting me when I'm riding it, and it doesn't get in the way of the actual fuel filler cap. And to be honest, I think with everything else, like I said with Temu, it's hard to know with the prices because it jumps up and down all over the damn place, but I think I paid about 15 quid for that. It's fairly waterproof as well. Water will get through the zips on this eventually if you're out in a major storm, but for the odd shower here and there, that will keep your electricals dry. So for about the 15-16 pounds I paid for it, I'm quite impressed with it, really. Now then, bike fans, onto the better stuff. Well, I say the better stuff. The box is probably my favourite, although I probably over-ordered on size. I might end up taking it off for a lot of the time. It doesn't fit in the garage particularly well, but if you are off on adventures and travels, it is good. I can't complain. Onto these things now, these side pouches that are designed to go on your crash rails. Now these, I think I paid £30 the pair. I can't, like I say, it all disappears on the app, but I think I paid about £30 for 2 of these, and you've got a lot of straps to hold it to the bike. What fascinated me with these is that they are actually made in the same manner as like your old school dry bags for kayaking and all of that sort of stuff, where you literally roll that top up and then clip them to the sides. And I have tested these, as in I used one as a bucket, and they are absolutely watertight. Not a drop of water is getting into these. Blink Mines is apparently who made this. What that means, I don't know. If you just look on Temu, you'll find millions of these, all with different company names. It's probably all the same people, and they're just printing different names on it because that's what they think people expect. But the quality of these is fantastic. They are really thick, heavy material. I mean, I've got heavier dry bags that I use for canoeing, but for the job that these are doing, that is really heavy ripstop material, really solid, and they do pretty much seal up airtight. In a pinch you could probably use this as a float. Lots of other attachments and things on them as well, so you can strap whatever you like to them. The only real issue I've found with these is the strap system that they come with isn't exactly perfect to go on this bike, the Africa Twins bars. Now, I'm not blaming the people who made these for that. I'm not going to complain about that, simply because I have seen that every Africa Twin I find out there has different crash bars on it. This one's got quite a full set that cover everything, but I've seen a lot of other bikes where their crash bars are not at all the same as this. So you're never going to get them that'll be custom made for every bike just by ordering it online. However, a quick fix to this is the good old-fashioned cable tie. They have a little carry handle there, which I don't know why you'd need that, but in this case we need it. It's actually going to hold it to the bike, and I don't mind a couple of cable ties because, like I said, you've got to accept that these are quite a low-cost version of motorcycle luggage. They're not going to be able to make them fit every single bike out there on the market. So we'll just add a couple of cable ties, and that'll keep it steady. Let's see. Knit them off so it looks a bit tidier. Just put these bottom straps around. And as you can see, it's actually not a bad looking little thing, really. And there is actually a lot more space in that than it looks like there is. Even though that's perhaps a bit... There we go, look, that's adjusting it. Let it come out to its full size. And with the addition of a couple of cable ties, it's really not wobbly. And I'm going to be totally honest. You can get all your solid luggage. You can get the genuine original Honda luggage for the Africa Twins. Very expensive, but you can get them. The thing is, and this is why I've gone for the cheap Temu stuff and the fabricy stuff, is because for what I'm going to be doing with this bike, at some point, it's quite likely I'm going to drop it. Now, even though those engine bars down there are designed for the bike to fall on and bump it about with and protect the bike when these things happen, I quite like them the shape they are. So I figured, cheap Temu luggage, full of my clothes and things, and then, should I drop the bike on a rocky surface, instead of the bar taking the full brunt of it, it will be a 15 quid Temu bag that gets squished, which I aren't bothered. I can wrap it back up with duct tape to finish my journey, throw it away when I get home and buy another one for the price. However, engine bars and plastic work on your bike and everything, that's quite expensive. So it's going to serve, on the side of those bars, it'll serve two functions. Well, three if you think about it. It'll make the bike look cool. It already looks like something Batman would ride. And then when people say, what have you got in all of those pockets? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. At the moment, nothing. There will be when I actually do the trips. Right now, I'm just riding around with bloody luggage on it for no purpose whatsoever. So once you're on the bike like that, you've stuffed it full of all your goodies. You just close it up. Close the Velcro, roll it back down. And then we've got the nice couple of side clips here, look. Standard stuff for a dry bag, really, because that is all they are, is a dry bag. I think most of them also came with a shoulder carry strap, which I usually throw away because I'm not walking around with it as a shoulder bag. I want it on the bike. Bit more webbing than I realistically need here, but we can close that front down as well. Obviously this would all be a little bit better with the closing of it if it had actually had anything in it. When it's empty, there's not really a lot of point. And there we go. That looks good. Does its job. It's pretty secure. Like I say, the more stuff you cram in there, the more securely that's going to be fastened to the bike. Now, just before I throw the other bag on the other side, you're looking down at the bike because there's something else I just wanted to show you. Just let me get my brew. Just because, just because of the type of bike that Rosie is, she's turning into a bit of a toy. You see, the other bikes are all classics. They're all good and old. And they're all in good condition, and I want to keep them that way, and I want to keep them original. Whereas, this one's me toy. I can play with this one. I can fasten silly things to it and make it look like Action Man's Weekender, or whatever it is I fancy doing. So, I indulged in a set of 15 quid LED bloody spotlights for the front of it. Because why not? They're cheap as chips. You've got different colour settings. The yellow is my favourite. They work brilliantly as a daytime running lamp, and it means everyone can see you. Those are your clear ones for when you're up in the hills and you need to be able to see what you're doing. Those ones will most likely get you pulled over by the police and arrested, so I wouldn't suggest you use those. Not unless you've broken down or you're in some sort of an emergency. I certainly wouldn't ride around with those on. That would probably get you into quite a bit of bother. Right, I'm going to chuck the other bag on this other side. I keep wandering off. I'm really bad today for wandering out of this camera shot. I'm going to chuck the other bag on the other side, and then we'll take a look at the actual pannier tail luggage that I've got. So that's what it looks like from the front with both of those bags on. And as I said, they're a little bit floppy, but they will be because there's nothing in them. So that's why they look a little empty. But you can get the gist of it. It actually looks quite good, really. Like I say, for the fee, and they're all the right colour to match the bike. Now, onto the big side panniers. charming little things. Motor Wolf this time. Same sort of construction, basically just a dry bag. I get the feeling I might have to move the box a little further back for these. And I also need to purchase the actual frame that will stop them from sitting on the exhaust and melting themselves all over the exhaust. So I need to get the proper Africa Twin metalwork that goes on the back. And like I say, I might just get away with it. These, they are the same construction and the same sort of quality as the others. Pretty impressive quality, can't complain about that. The one thing I can complain about, and I am going to complain about, is these two bags are absolutely identical, which I don't really understand. I feel as if they've sent me either two rights or two lefts, but they're not a left and a right, because for a start we've got the male, as in the hook side of the Velcro on both of them, with no Velcro underneath them, so I don't get what the intention to fasten those two together is. Also, I've got the buckles for some webbing straps. They don't have the webbing straps. They're not with the set. Don't know what happened there. They're just not here. So I'm not too concerned about that. I can just buy some webbing off eBay and strap the damn things together anyway, once I get the actual Africa framework for the back of it. The only other issue with them being sort of an exact copy, being the same, is I have one big strap on one side, which is going to be on opposite sides now because it's the same bag but used the other way, and then a smaller strap there. This one, which I can only assume that the idea was that this littler one fastens to the front of your framework, and this one possibly goes through and fastens to the other bag, but again I've got two male clips. Alright, so I'm gonna have to do something with that. I'm not too bothered because, like I say, they're very functional for the price that they were. If that's just going to sit there for a minute. Very functional for the price I paid. They do work. They're clearly incredibly waterproof. And again, if I bang them up, I'm not going to be too bothered about that. And inside of this one, will that just hang on there long enough? Inside of this one is a lovely big bag that goes on the top of there. Probably more luggage than I am going to need. And this one has just come with 4 random straps that you can fasten to anywhere on the bike, and that will fasten the thing down and stop it flying away. It's also got an air valve on it so that you can let the air down and compress it. And this bag is the very reason why, for some of the tours, depending on what I'm doing, I perhaps won't need to have this big box on the back for those tours. Not sure, but depending on exactly where I'm going, what I'm doing, I don't think I really need to be able to carry quite as much as I've got here. I think I've over-ordered a little bit. I mean, you know, I don't need to take the kitchen sink or anything like that. Now, I actually did manage to get a screenshot of what I paid for these before the Temu app did its thing and everything vanished on me. The big, well, they called it a long hiker. Again, it's got straps and things. You can got carry straps and a big one that goes over your shoulder if you want to carry it like a hold-all bag. This thing was £22.55, and the Motor Wolf panniers were £37.98. Now, compared to what bike luggage actually is, depending on where you're getting it from, that is fairly dirt cheap. So although there is a little issue with exactly how the strap systems are designed and X, Y and Z, I don't mind that. I'm used to modifying everything I buy. Usually needs modification in some way to make it suit what I'm doing. So I'm not too concerned about it's got a missing strap and a bit like that. I don't know if this is just how they come, or if they have actually just sort of messed up and not quite sent exactly the right things. Either way, I'm quite happy with them. they're certainly going to work. They're certainly going to do what I need them to, especially once I have the actual framework for the back of this bike. They will do that just fine, and they will get me to where I need to go. And like I've said, for that sort of money, if I drop the thing and completely ruin all of this stuff, well, I'm not going to be crying over it, because it's not that expensive to replace. If you get your actual genuine Honda boxes for the size of these and stuff, they're £300–400 each, depending on where you're finding them. Very expensive stuff. Whereas this stuff, if I squash it, rip it, scratch it, doesn't matter, does it? It's low cost stuff, and it'll do the job. And like I say, I mean, this is a 40 litre one. You could probably cram 50 litres in it, really. They expand quite a bit. It depends how much you want to roll the lid up, which then depends on weather. But it's certainly going to do what I need it to do. Right then, guys, so that's all the waffle about the bike luggage. Pretty standard stuff. Pretty decent for the price. I do sort of recommend it. Because of the missing straps and a few other little queries with the back pannier ones, I'd give it 7 out of 10. If you're prepared to accept a few little, that's not quite there, and modify it a bit, perfectly decent stuff for the price. The front frame bags are banging, I've no complaint there whatsoever, and the top box is fantastic. So my recommendation is, if you've not bought any bits of bike gear off Temu, give it a try. It's worth it for the price. Anyway, after all that waffle, we're going to go for a little tootle out to Rudyard Lake at the cafe there. Just go get a brew. It's a nice dry-ish sort of day. slight change of plan. I am now at the Rugged Lake Hotel because the cafe on the lake isn't open today. Not sure exactly what's going on. They're all in there busily doing something that looks like a deep clean or something. But we have got a brew now. If you've never been to Rugged Lake's Lake Hotel, you got some funny pod things you can rent and have your dinner in. A nice big tree. So that's all for this one today, guys. Catch you on the next one. Get out there, get biking, get bushcrafting, get having fun, above all be safe. And until the next one, it's Posting Down out.